Hey guys, Srdjan here, and this is not my house. I'm here to learn about the world of real estate with my friend Marta Lazic, who's one of the top real estate agents in Chicago right now. So let's go inside before the neighbors call the cops. So how did you get into real estate?
I got into real estate, actually my parents were the first ones that kind of pushed me into it.
Mine too.
Yeah, there you go. It's like the typical served parent thing, yeah.
Prima para to this.
Dosta para,
That's right.
always.
That's right. Now that you say that, I bet you weren't thinking about that when you were younger. Like, oh, I'm going to be a realtor one day. So what did you want to be when you grew up? And what did your parents shoot down?
What did they shoot down? I think when I was younger, I probably wanted to be a teacher. I don't think they ever shot anything out like down. They were good to me.
You probably didn't even tell them.
No, I know, we never talked about it. It was like, here, go clean something, like go study, like be a doctor, lawyer sort of thing. So,
Totally. Did the fact that your relatives flipped houses have any effect on your choice to be a realtor?
Absolutely. I think just growing up as a kid, you know, dad being in construction, visiting him on sites, and then we would always do the open houses and walk into those, and I loved it. I always thought, I think real estate was always in the back of my mind, even though I never, thought of it on the forefront, so.
Totally. So was it scary to steer away from the typical 9 to 5 and like being on your own and paying for your own insurance and all that other stuff? How did you deal with that?
Oh, a lot of anxiety. It's a huge jump. Going from 9 to 5, having, a regular paycheck, and then all of a sudden, hey, I'm gonna be full commission. Like, that was the scariest thing. And I can thank my mom, honestly, because she was like, we're both here for you if we need to help you kind of push through that. So I had their support going into it. But my first year, I took out a loan because I was like, this is something I'm gonna try and do. And if I'm gonna do it, like, I have to put all my energy into it because I knew the payoff would eventually, hopefully, be for the better.
Upon first meeting your clients, what is like the first set of questions you ask them to know where their head is at?
Yeah, I want to know what they're doing now. What is their lifestyle like? Who are they as a person? What is it that things that they enjoy? You always kind of want to make it a light conversation and then get into the nitty-gritty later. So it's like, okay, well now you're in the city, you want to move to the suburbs. Great. What's important to you? Schools, having a lot of square footage. What's your budget? So then you really kind of nail what their needs are and then what their wants are. And then, afterwards I kind of work with what they've given me and try and provide as much as I can. So,
I mean, there's some realtors out there that literally just open the door and be like, oh, hey, let me show you your new trap house. You see, this room is perfect for your uninvited guests because if you're a balcony, people come whenever they want without notice. So you can have your TV here, your couches, your table, and maybe in this corner is where you keep your rakia stash from all those years to going back in the homeland and smuggling it in. This is the type of kitchen that you don't typically use. If balcony people typically have a burner kitchen downstairs where they can ruin it and get it dirty. This is the type of place where you just show it off and your guests can observe it and be jealous of you. This is that kind of place. Speaking of place, let's look at the fireplace. I love s'mores, and this is a great place to do that. What it's also great for is roasting chestnuts. The chestnuts that you get in the brown paper bag or the socks during the holiday season? Yeah, those. Also, we do have a barrier, so if you have a child, we don't want them going into there. But if they can't stop crying or they cause too much trouble, you can also threaten them to put them in there. Great, so let's continue the tour.
Put your kids in the f***ing fireplace.
I don't know. So, do you think that it's important to know, construction type things, the names of types of wood, the type of rock being used and all that to be successful in your industry?
I think it's important. I think it's a huge benefit, a huge asset to be knowledgeable in construction or quartz, granite. I think it shows to your client that you know what you're looking for. You know how to guide them through a process of, is this quality, is this not quality? There are agents who don't, and they somehow make it through, but then you're attracting a different type of clientele. I like to focus with first-time home buyers, and so in that, if I can, guide them through that process, they'll trust me more. So that's my bread and butter, I would say.
When do you decide to cut your losses when it comes to a hard to work with client?
I think in my profession, honesty, it comes down to honesty and how you communicate with people. So you want them to like you want to like them, but you need to understand them. So I think the biggest thing is asking the right questions, but also being a good listener, and then taking that through, through the process. People's ideas will change, their budget changes, there's all these little tweaks, but I think ultimately like finding out who they are as a person and what is important to them is number one, so.
How did you decide to go with your current realty company?
So actually my managing broker gave me a call when I was at my other company, and he was kind of the pushing force for me to come back. But it was also the brand. Jameson Sotheby's, the brand is just so luxurious and so beautiful. And I think the one thing that I love about it, it's not about price point. It's when they say luxury, they say it's a level of service. So that kind of resonated with me.
And that's the type of service that you want to provide.
Correct. It's the type of service that I provide to my clients.
So do they provide you with sort of like the training wheels after, the education process, or was it kind of like, sink or swim?
It's a little bit of sink or swim. It's a little bit of both. I think the biggest thing that a company can do for you is to find you the right mentor. So my first year out, you're kind of a deer in headlights. You don't know where to go. You don't know how to grab a client. So your biggest thing is working with top agents. Having your managing broker pair you up with a mentor that's maybe similar in personality, somebody that needs help, that's willing to teach you, and that was probably one of the biggest assets, like when I first started, that I took advantage of.
So here we are in the top level of this home, and what I love about this home is the fact that there's carpeting. Why? In case you wanted to sneak back into your house in the middle of the night without your parents hearing, you can't hear anything, especially I have shoes on right now, and I didn't even hear myself go up the stairs. Perfect for that type of situation. So we do have a bathroom here with a double sink. I don't know what kind of rock is used for this, but this looks like a swirly granite, black and white. Love the mirrors, for all those two-faced people. So right now I'm going to take you to the basement. Right now it looks like a scary movie. So if you don't see me and I don't come back, call the police. All right, so let's take you down here. Oh, that turns it off. This can also be where you hold Slava. It's a lot more spacious than the dining room upstairs, so it can accommodate all your guests. Hopefully your Slava has different rounds, so not everyone shows up at the same time. But if you have Sveti Nikola, you can probably expect everyone to come at the same time after work. This would be the place to do that. Also, if you get drunk, there is a spare bedroom right there. It's for someone who wants to knock out. Also, what's very convenient is the laundry room is on this level, so if someone spills some shit on themselves, you can throw it right there into the washer and dryer. Also, if you drink too much at your Slava, I'm just using Slava as an example, we do have a bathroom where you can throw up or, do your business and that sort of thing. You know what, let's talk about your awards and recognitions, right? Because you're a pretty big deal. Yes, it's a pretty big deal to get those high sales, but at the same time, to be recognized for all your great doings is huge, right? So you're actually in Chicago Magazine, Best of the New Chicago, and this you can find online as well. And this is what the cover looks like if you want to pick it up at your local supermarket. So we're going to open it up, and you are featured in the top real estate agents ranking based on the 2020 residential sales in the 6-county metro area. And you are amongst the top 100. That's pretty exciting stuff. Like, how does one even become recognized for something like that? Like, you're just in a system somewhere where like all your sales are?
Yeah, they keep track of our sales pretty closely. And so at the end of the year, they just kind of
do like a roundup report.
They do a roundup report.
I thought that said Cindy Crawford. It says Chris. I'm like, girl, modeling must be tough if you're,
Money's
switching
better in real
gears.
estate, yeah.
But anywho, you're also featured in something else too.
Yeah, in Who's Who Agent Magazine.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
Is it exclusively for your agency or just like all around?
It is for all of the realtors in the Chicagoland area. So I think they feature about 350 agents, so yeah.
How did you feel when you first got notice of that? was that an email? The managing broker tell you, be like, you know what, I need to sit you down.
Yeah, they nominated me for it, and it felt so good. It's just like you kind of work with your head down for so long, and all of a sudden you start getting all these like little bits of recognition, and you're like, who
Maybe I'm doing something right
Yeah,
here.
I'm doing something right. Like it's still kind of surreal in a sense, but it feels good.
Well, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to talk with me, and tell the crew where they can find you.
So happy. They can find me, I think the best way is just on my Instagram at Lazica, and then all my contact links are there, and they can just follow if they want to buy a house, sell a house, even if you want to get into the industry, happy to like sit down and have a cup of coffee with anybody. So I'm always, happy to meet.
That's all she wrote.
That's all I wrote.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.